Welcome to the Nerd Party.
Hello, everybody at home, and welcome. Tonight, we're talking Sergeant Bilko from 1996, Jonathan Lynn's attempt to turn a beloved TV show into a Steve Martin vehicle, which mostly works. Martin plays a career con man in uniform who's been running an illegal gambling ring out of the Army's least productive motor pool for so long that it's become his pension plan. With me, who has a poker game going in the back room, knows exactly which colonel to butter up, and will absolutely charm his way out of giving his real rating, Darren Moser. And fresh off a decades-long personal vendetta, armed with a clipboard and the energy of a man who has been waiting his entire life to finally catch a white-haired jerk, John Mills. Now look, Sergeant Bilko is a movie where Phil Hartman got the assignment and graced us with his take, and Martin knew this. We're going to talk about that, and about Jonathan Lynn's weird gift for institutional comedy, and about whether Dan Aykroyd was okay during filming. This is Houselights. Now, gentlemen.
You know, I love snow, so being in Greenland works for me.
Okay. Was I the only one who had seen this before?
I thought I hadn't seen it, but then it was more literally I just completely forgot it. And then, when you're watching it again, you're like, okay, this is where, they're going to hide the roulette wheel in the tire. Oh, they're going to, it all comes back where you remember, I have seen this at least once, but it was probably a decade ago. So, for what that's worth.
John, how about you?
No, it didn't strike my fancy back in 96, and this isn't one where I'm going to be like, I always meant to get around Sergeant Bilko. This is one I was kind of like, yeah, it's okay if this goes by me. I mean, this was part of there was a whole bunch of 1950s shows that they tried to resurrect in the 90s. And I think, hadn't Beverly Hillbillies come out before this?
I think so. I think it was before 96. And I think the Flintstones came out around this time.
I got to tell you, once they fumbled the Beverly Hillbillies, which is one of my most beloved TV shows of all time, I probably was just burned out. I was like, that's it, guys. I'm out. Like, once you hurt me that bad, I'm not coming back.
When you say fumbled, do you mean Dietrich Bader did an amazing performance? I think that's what you meant.
I guess I misspoke. Yes, that must be what I meant. And Erica Eleniak was a marvel as a comic actress. And listen, that Jim Varney deserved better than that. That's all I'm going to say, because he was great as Jed Clampett. He understood that assignment, but I don't know if anybody else did. Anyway, that's a side topic. That's why I didn't see Sergeant Bilko or McHale's Navy, or there was one with Kelsey Grammer or something around this time period, wasn't there?
It was Down Periscope, but I don't think it was based on anything.
Yeah, it wasn't based on anything.
I don't think it was.
Which Darren and I still are trying to get you to watch.
And you're trying to get me to watch Lion in Winter, so, go on, Sisyphus. Keep pushing that boulder.
Mid-90s Mission Impossible, because that, also made the jump.
That's right.
And that was from the 70s, so 60s and 70s. So,
and I enjoyed that one. I thought De Palma's Mission Impossible was quite good. I like that a lot.
It is, but as someone who's also watched every episode of the classic show, I can tell why the original cast were pissed off and pulled out and didn't want to be in it. So,
Fair
that
enough.
was for story reasons. They basically, I mean, you make Jim Phelps the bad guy, and that's like Picard's the villain. And he killed everybody. You're like, what? What are you doing?
That's subverting expectations, though. I was told that was good.
Don't you use that word.
I just did. But
you guys
Sergeant
actually
Bilko subvert them? That's the question.
You guys reminded me that we should probably give a little background on this. For people who don't know, the source material for this movie is The Phil Silvers Show, which ran for 143 episodes. And Phil Silvers plays Bilko as a fast-talking, scheming, basically, Steve Martin's character. And while the original was an Eisenhower-era show built entirely around one comedic premise, it won awards and went on for a long time.
Of its time.
It's a product of its time, and this movie lost money that we're talking about. This
Yes,
was,
it
had a
did.
budget of $39 million, which was nothing to sneeze at in 1996, especially for a Steve Martin comedy. And it
Yes.
returned with $37.9 million.
Yes.
Yeah.
It did. But just to do the Phil Silvers thing, like the 50s, the whole reason you have that glut of shows like that is so many people had served in World War II. Like it was immediately relatable comedy to them.
Yeah, it's
Like,
army
you could-
humor. It's like, aha, like,
right.
you know, we all had that NCO that was cutting deals on the side and trying to mail a Jeep home. Like that was funny.
Or the person who was too straight-laced, or the person who was the fresh young recruit. These were all very relatable premises. And I think that by 96, it's one of those things you're trying to tell an old joke that didn't age well. Like the punchline when you say it is kind of like, yeah, I guess it doesn't
audience
play the same
changed.
way. Yeah, exactly.
And on top of that, watching it in 2026 adds another layer of how it doesn't work, because when you're watching it, we're like, oh, so we're just defrauding Congress at this point to save our careers?
Okay. Now, hold on a second. Traditions are upheld to this day.
That's true. I knew you were going to say that, and you
Yeah.
were not wrong.
That's true.
Like
true.
there's a long history of defense contractors and R&D stealing taxpayer money. Not arguing against that whatsoever, but it's just one of those things where, like, you watch it in 1996, you're like, oh, it's just goofball comedy, but it's based off of a premise of, post World War II, where way more people, because we're post draft, post people coming home, way more people have that frame of reference than they did in 96. And then in 2026, it's just completely removed from it. And so now all you're thinking about is thinking about it from an abstract.
Yeah. And I think that additionally, this is an interesting one because we look at Clue and he handles the ensemble really well. There's a balance of all the characters, all the performances, everybody's playing at the same level. We fast forward to here, after last week. And what really struck me about this was it's so uneven in terms of its distribution of attentions. And this is much more a starring vehicle type of movie than previously. And I think that that doesn't play to Lynn's particular set of skills very well. I don't.
Speaking of which, saying this is a starring vehicle, Albert Brooks was originally offered the role for Bilko and turned it down. What do you guys think about Brooks in this role? So it's the same script, same movie, but just a Brooks performance. What do you think? Does it improve it? Is it weird?
I do think it improves it. But the thing is, I'm very biased because Albert Brooks just walks on screen and I start laughing, which was very awkward during Drive. But I think that the performance does matter because Steve Martin's really sort of doing a riff on Steve Martin in this role.
He's doing his stand-up shtick.
Right.
Is
Whereas
what he's
I
doing.
think Albert Brooks would have played a lot better in sort of that low-key smarmy sort of thing, like that oily vibe. He's not playing up for comedy. He's sliding through the comedy. I think Brooks's style lends itself to this material a lot better.
Yeah, I mean the vibe it makes me think it would be better translated to like a college frat Animal House kind of style. Like the level of pranks and jokes and things he's getting away with felt more like, oh, Delta House is running a gambling ring under the principal's nose. Like it felt like that level of gotcha, but we're on an army base, and so it like that did not make sense. It didn't balance,
and it's
at all.
Such a mystery as to why the U.S. Army did not want to have anything to do with this movie.
I love that quote at the end, like, "Thank you, U.S. Army, for zero support." Just like, we keep our names out of this.
They worked with them for months trying to get their support and use an active base. And after months of script revisions, the Army just said, "You know what? We're just not going to do this."
I think what's interesting though is the fact that they call it out at the end did make it seem like it was an intentional joke where they were like, oh, we didn't even bother asking the army. Like, it's almost like they're trying to spin the fact that the army's like, go screw, guys.
That's why it's bad.
This.
We didn't get support from the army. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
I didn't get that at all. I thought it was tongue in cheek where, no. I didn't. I thought it was more tongue in cheek where it's just like, yeah, I mean, we're showing the army as a bunch of buffoons.
Yeah.
So obviously the army's not going to capitulate. This is like the anti-Top Gun, where
yes, that's true. That's true.
You know,
it's like
they
the
worked hand in glove with the Navy.
It's like NASA and the National Oil Drillers Association both refused to help in this movie, and we're like, yeah, we know. Like, that's not a surprise.
What I think is a real shame is that, like, I love as an actress Glenn Headley. I really love her work pretty much in anything that she shows up in.
She's so unique.
And I think that if they had rebalanced the script to focus around them more, somehow this would have worked better. Where with Steve Martin, you think the opposite.
I do. I feel like she's so good and she's so funny, and I want to see more of her. But I feel like that's what stopped the movie dead.
I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is they should have picked that as their lane. And then what you could have is that he's so preoccupied with her that his troops can get away with murder and he doesn't care because he's over here worried about her
instead of being focused the one that instigates.
Right. Instead of him being an instigator, he can't split his time. And so it becomes, you could reframe it as he has to choose. Does he want to be in love or does he want to be in the army? And then at the end, he chooses to be in love, sort of thing, where he's like, you know what? Neither one of you have been benefiting from this. So I'm going to leave the army and I'm going to give my life to her. Now, again, as we love to say, that's rewriting the movie. But I think that's a better movie. I think that's the sort of thing you should do.
Is that a thing we say?
Yeah. It can be, you know.
No, I agree. I mean, I think when I was watching her performance, it made me think, okay, what else was she doing right around this time? And she had just done Mr. Holland's Opus. And, you know, which is, again, when you're given a character and role like that, this is more like, Canada City comedy. But yeah, maybe I think you're right when you called it about balance. Like, every time he goes off base to talk with her, it just stops the action completely. So maybe, again, you know, getting back to rewriting, do something like maybe she's been living on base housing with him, so she's actually there, and the squeeze is, the Colonel Dan Aykroyd is now put in a bind where he's got to actually enforce the base policy of you can't live on base if you're not married. Like, you got 30 days or I got to kick her out. It's something like tie those two plots together, because they definitely felt like an A and a B.
Well, I can say definitely the plot element that should have been cut from the beginning. Like, let's just make it super basic, and he has to win one final card game so they have the money so that they can go off or whatever. Like, you take your idea, then introduce like the final card game thing. We expect that with this type of movie. The whole hover tank thing is puzzling at best. That's the nicest way I can put it.
No, it's 90s. It's so 90s. It's so
90s.
It's the age of the internet,
CGI.
the age of technology booming. You know, like it's where people don't always understand how advanced technology is or what it can do. We saw this all over the place in the 90s. This was very much representative of its time.
Yes, but I'm just saying the movie works better if you cut it and focus on.
I love the hover tank.
No, the hover tank's terrible. Terrible.
I think
it's so stupid because
it is.
Yes.
I mean, I'm glad
it's not stupid funny. It's just stupid.
But
like, that's it.
I'm glad that they didn't lampshade the problem with the tank. Like, the first thing that you think of with a hover tank is, how on earth is it going to fire without it just zooming backwards?
That's exactly the problem.
Yeah, that's exactly the problem. It's hilarious.
I mean, my headcanon is that, you know, Austin Pendleton's character, he just got fired from Nova Robotics and so enlisted into the army and is now trying to get his hover tank working. Because I feel like that's the same thing that he would try to come up with.
I just think there's so, like, we've spent all of this time talking about how we would have rewritten, restructured, this, that. I think it just speaks to the fact that this movie just, we hear all the time about movies being shelved, and then you run across a movie and you're like, well, if that's a thing, then I don't know. I mean, I guess you can't shelve a Steve Martin movie in the 90s. No, you just can't do that. Especially you got Dan Aykroyd and Phil Hartman in the cast, and you got.
Let's talk about Phil Hartman.
Yeah.
So, how did you guys feel about Hartman's performance? Was he just Hartman doing Hartman, like Martin was doing Martin, or do you feel like he understood what was going on with the movie and what he needed to bring? Was he the funniest person on screen, or was he truly adding to the ensemble, like, allowing Aykroyd and Martin to kind of bounce off of him? What do you think?
I think that Hartman was playing the straight man, but he was desperately in need of the right funny man to play off of. I think he was playing off of a character that wasn't manifesting on screen.
Yeah, Bilko is the problem, because he's like half straight man, half funny man, depending on the scene. Like, I don't know if I meant to take him seriously, or if he's meant to be the butt of all the jokes, or if I meant to like root for him. Like, obviously root for him because he's the main character, but yeah. And then this whole thing just feels like a sketch. Like, this is a SNL sketch that instead of being 3 minutes, we padded it out to 94 and it suffered.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when I watched this in preparation for this podcast, the three of us were talking and we're like, who has seen this? And I was like, oh yeah, I've seen this, right? Yeah, no, I've seen this. And I was really confused because I was like, no, I know I saw this as a kid. But as I finally watched it, I was like, holy crap, memory unlocked. And I knew every single joke, every single line, every single character. I watched this like crazy when I was a kid. I don't remember owning Sergeant Bilko, so like I'm not quite sure how I'd seen it so many times.
They
I don't know.
Taped it off the TV or something.
Yeah, maybe I taped it off of the TV, or they just showed it on TV a lot. I can't remember, but I remember just so much of it. And I brought it up like last weekend. I was hanging out with my uncle, and I said, I was like, have you seen Sergeant Bilko? I'm talking about it on Tuesday. And he's like, oh my God, I love that movie so much. And like my Uncle Rick just turned 60 years old. He works in HVAC, was raised by a mechanic, and does nothing but watch stupid 80s and 90s comedies. And he loves this movie. That's all we do. Well, he is the target demographic for this movie. And I think that's the thing, is that when you look at this movie, when you go into it knowing what to expect, that it's a stupid ass 90s comedy where like the fat, stupid private or whatever is the butt of the joke, and that's the era this was filmed in, you give it a little bit more leeway, I think.
I don't, because I went through the 90s and I didn't give movies like this too much quarter back then either. I think that these are the sorts of things where if it works for somebody, cool, man, that's great. And I'm not even saying that in a dismissive, like, I like better things. Trust me. Look at my Letterboxd list. I watch crap.
I know this guy was just pitching me a 1970s horror film that was probably shot on video. What was it called?
Messiah of Evil.
Messiah of Evil.
It's from the writers of American Graffiti. How could you not want to see this movie?
That sounds like something Riff Tracks would cover, or like MST3K.
It is exactly something that
would
Riff
have
Tracks would cover.
A blast with this movie. They would really have fun with this movie, but it is a great mood piece with a lot of liminal spaces. So dig it. But this is just the type of thing where it's like sometimes comedy just doesn't work, and it's not even a for you thing. It's just comedy just doesn't work, but it can still make somebody laugh because you're like, comedy is the most taste-based thing out there. Like, even somebody who's not a big drama fan can watch The Godfather and be like, okay, I get it. I know why people love this. I can watch Sergeant Bilko and I can say the same thing. Okay, I get it. I know why somebody would laugh at this, but it's just not my sense of humor. And then, so I sit there and I just start picking at it and I get, distracted and bored while I'm watching it, because that's just the way it works with comedy. That's just me.
No, and I think everything we're saying is true. Like, it being a Steve Martin vehicle is what got it greenlit, but also kind of doomed it, because like I don't know. I haven't given too much thought in like who else could have played Bilko better. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning more towards like a Harold Ramis, or if there's more structuring involved. Like, it's not just Bilko, it's the dynamic between him and the other players. Like, there's
you know what? I understand what you're saying. It's not Ramis, but the thing is, the whole time I was watching this, I was thinking of, this is like a family-friendly Stripes, which had Harold Ramis and Bill Murray. And I'm like,
of Stripes.
Bilko, if you're not going to have Albert Brooks, this is a Bill Murray role, because Bill Murray is that sort of, he's right.
If Stripes didn't exist.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the type of vibe you're going for with this character. Or just fully embrace it. And for the love of God, help me for saying this, just go ahead and cast Pauly Shore in it and be done with it. And just put him in the role. Go too far in the other direction. No, I'm saying just go too far in the other direction. I would probably laugh at that, because I'd be like, this is insanely stupid. Like, it was so overcompensate in the other direction that I'd be along for the ride in that case.
Robin Williams expressed interest in this role. What do you think that would have looked like?
I don't think it would have worked.
He's too much. I like, if we're putting Bill Murray in the Bilko role, I could almost see Steve Martin in the Thorne role as the straight, as the too tightly wound. He's more that character. That's Father of the Bride. That's Planes, Trains, Automobiles. Like, he does that really well. This, like you said, was his stand-up. Just the tone of how he delivered everything.
All right. So I do want to give some praise to this. And so I want to talk about one particular scene and section that I think was freaking hilarious. It's when there was a surprise inspection and they were on their way and they're like, holy crap, what do we do? And so they switched the signs from barracks A to barracks
my
B.
Favorite scene.
And then they have to, they all line up. And then his number 2 is standing in his room, and it's clearly a woman's room. And Thorne brings out a brassiere. He's like, do you want to explain this? He's like, I'm under the impression that you're no longer allowed to ask me that question, sir. That's because this was this was right in the heart of Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
Yes, that joke does work. I laughed harder, honestly, at the first room that they went into.
The first room, the black family
there's
room.
There's a black family in the picture, and the guy's like, it's my favorite sitcom. It's the cast of my favorite sitcom. It makes you laugh, but it really makes you think. That was funny to me. That was great, because that's the type of crap lie that I try to come up with in the moment where I was like, I don't know what to say right now. That I found funny.
But again, that whole bit could work in, some sort of school-based comedy, like with the dorm room situation or something. Like, that's the level of humor that this movie was trying for. And the hustle. But yeah, that was the A barracks, B barracks swap was the funniest part, because they deliver it so dryly, and they're just like squirming, like, why did you get us into this mess, Bilko?
I'll if we're going to be talking about the positives, I thought that seeing Bilko trying to lie, but again, Bill Murray delivering these types of lines and jokes, I think works even better for me, where it's like, is that a pile of, horse crap? It's like, yeah, it's to attract the flies away from the food, sir. And they look up and they see the horse finally, and they go, what is, the horse is up there. And it's like, fresh is better than anything, sir. Like that worked for me too. But again, I imagine it delivered with a slightly different type of energy, and it's even funnier, but that was funny as well. I even liked, I was with it. I was giving it as much of a chance as I could. And when you first go in and there's a tug of war with the horse, and then you find out that they basically scammed.
It's a hustle.
Yeah, they hustled the other barracks, and the big guy like out tug of wars the horse. That was funny to me too. So like for the very beginning of it, I was along with it. If I'm honest, it really wasn't until the hover tank that I completely started dissociating from the movie, and I was like, okay, well, they're not quite sure what they're doing here.
What kills me is when we got to the ending, it kind of reminded me of the ending of Grease, where stay with me, so you have the new guy, I can't remember his name, but the new guy, the guy who was in Galaxy Quest, and
yes, that would be Wally.
Yeah, Wally, Daryl Mitchell.
Thank you. Yeah. You have Daryl Mitchell coming in.
Oh, he wasn't Galaxy Quest. Sorry.
And like he loves his job, he loves the service, wants to defend his country, and he's kind of like the foil, where he's just like he's the conscience and telling them that they're doing wrong. He's like the audience, and then at the end, he's like, you know what? I like you, Sergeant Bilko. I'm gonna break the law for you now, and I'm gonna roll back as an odometer because we had a connection. And so you're like, so you took this good serviceman, corrupted him
I
so
see
badly.
The Grease connection now. Yeah.
That like, and everybody's supposed to smile and say like, yeah, that's nice. That's nice. He's now a terrible serviceman.
Yes, because it's about the human connection. That's what counts. Like if the army isn't about making friends, what is it for? It's not about anything but that.
So I have a question for you guys, because I feel like we haven't even hit the 30-minute mark, and we're itching to get to our ratings.
Yes.
But I do have a question for you guys. We don't normally do this, but I feel like this is something that we should do. This is a movie that warrants this question. What would the movie look like today? I'm saying you got greenlit in 2026. Who would you cast? What would it be about? It's gotta be in the armed services. That's the only thing I'm gonna stick. It could be Army, Navy, Air Force. Well, hell, I'll even let you do Space Force.
No, that's what I was gonna say, because if I have to stick with a bizarre technology angle, like that's a necessity. I have to approach it, and I'm like, I'm a 1-to-1. I can't ditch some aspect of this movie in order to make the movie that I think it should have been back then. And I got to have the weird tank thing in there. Space Force is immediately where I'm going to. Straight down, going for Space Force. And then for lead actor, Darren, I'll let you go first on that one. I picked Space Force. You go with the lead actor.
I'm going my own direction, John. I wasn't building a
you're
team
not.
project.
You're going Space Force. I
was going to go
it.
with Navy. They're on an aircraft carrier, and they're trying to get the flywheel airplane catapult to work, which, doesn't, because that is impossible. But okay. Space Force. Now we're
How about this? Space Force
Steve Carell
on an
Space
aircraft
Force.
carrier. There you go. Problem solved.
Anyway, main comedy guy for now.
Who do we have that's even...
Well, what's crazy is like there's a show, I have not seen it yet, about Space Force with Steve Carell. And
that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
And I hate that basically would be this. Like we're probably missing out on that.
It kind of is.
I've seen a couple of episodes of it. It's cute.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, the clips that you see online are definitely the highlights, but there's a reason it didn't catch on too much. I'm not trashing it. Like it's cute. It's sort of like forgettable humor sort of thing where it's like, honestly, it is kind of like this, where it's like, I'm not going to remember in 10 years that the show ever existed, but I didn't like turn off the episode after one. I didn't turn off the series after one episode. I was like, screw this show. This is an affront to comedy. Like it was just there. Who would we put in? I don't want to do Carell. Carell, if anything, would take the place of Hartman in this. I could see Carell as the Hartman character because he does that well. If you take it back 10 years or 20 years ago, I'd put Jim Carrey as the Bilko role, but no. Wow, today, honestly, and people can come at me. They're going to get mad at me about it. They're going to be angry, whatever. I don't care, but I'll stand by this. If anything, have you guys ever seen Tires on Netflix? I would put Gillis as Bilko and then his foil as Hartman's character. Those would be the guys that I would have at the core of this. As the Colonel, I would probably have like Burt Kreischer. Like I would just go all in and go with the crazy, silly comedy angle of it all. So those would be my three that I would position everything around. And then I would have Kill Tony pick all of the remaining cast with stand-up auditions.
I would do Donald Glover as Bilko.
Oh, that's a good choice.
And
that's a good
Bill
choice.
Hader
that's a
as
really good
Thorne.
one.
Ooh, Bill Hader as Thorne.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Love it. Love it. I think that's great.
I think you have to throw Charlie Day in there somewhere.
Ooh,
I like
Charlie
that.
Day.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Charlie Day's a good choice.
I would do Air Force.
I would definitely stay with Space Force, but Charlie Day would be Austin Pendleton's character. He's been driven crazy by the project that he's working on. And he's just unhinged.
Right.
He's just like, well, it's never going to work.
He's like, it's not going to work. It's like, I told them when we wrote the first paper, it's not going to work. And then they gave me millions of dollars. I don't know what to do with it because they gave me millions of dollars. And it's like, totally,
Yeah, and they don't let him in on it. So when the cannon supposedly works the first time and it blows up, like Charlie Day's like kissing people in the stands. He's like, oh my God, we figured it out. That sort of thing. Yes, I like that casting.
You know why the hover tank won't work on the moon? Because there's no air.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yes. See, I like that. I like that
turbines,
idea.
They pull in air and shoot it down.
That
I
it's
told
not,
them this on
it's
day
not
one.
Just a simple defrauding the government sort of thing. Is that the project makes no sense, but nobody's going to defund it because, and you could even have, instead of having an admiral or general or whomever show up at the end, it's a congressman who talks about all the jobs that it's bringing to his district. And he refuses to cancel the project, and you're going to make this damn thing work because I need factory jobs in this town again, or something like that. That
played by Brian Cox.
No,
you're just
Brian Cranston. Aha!
There you go,
Brian Cranston.
That's better.
There you go.
Brian, double senators.
Yeah, either Brian Cranston is the senator at the end, or he's the colonel. I
was going to say Cranston is Aykroyd's character, and Cox is the congressman who goes after Cranston.
I could see that. I could completely see that. See, we've made a better movie in the modern era
just by recasting with.
And even if I acquiesce and I say, take Gillis out. Gillis at least is in the supporting cast. If he's not the lead, he's at least in the supporting cast. He's one of these characters that's on the side here. My question is, who is taking the place of Glenn Headley's character? Who's in there? Yeah, right. That's a tough one.
Who would be a good pairing for? It's Fleabag, because they never got together.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
I was actually just thinking of Phoebe
because
Waller-Bridge.
they never got to make that show work where they were supposed to be together.
Yeah. Was that Mr. and Mrs. Smith they were trying to make?
Yeah, that was supposed to be Mr. and Mrs. Smith together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mainly just because I want to see them together. I don't even think that it would be a good choice. I just want to see them together.
I could see Waller-Bridge in there. I could see that. Because she could play the flustered part of it very well. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
All right, let's pull the ripcord.
They have that in the Army? I don't know.
Sure, they jump out of airplanes. The airborne jumps out of airplanes.
Airborne,
sure.
All right, Darren.
That's the Air Force. No, I don't know.
How many roulette wheels are you giving this movie?
Oh, man. This movie, it didn't age well. The jokes do not land. But you're not wrong, Tristan, in that it has its audience. It has its 90s, like, I'm just watching something for fun. What's sad is, like, we've seen this type of structure of the getting away with it under the authority figure's nose done better in so many other movies. Like, this doesn't necessarily bring anything new to the table in that regard. So I'm just gonna give it a nice one. I'm not gonna watch this again. I'm not going to remember this. I'm going to go watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles to remember what an amazing actor.
A nice one. How does that work? A nice one.
I'm giving it one roulette wheel. There's only one roulette wheel in roulette.
All right, John, what nice rating are you going to give this?
Oh, I'm not going to be nice. I'm going to give it a nasty one is what I'm going to give it. I wasn't angry at the end of it, but this is something where I think in 5 years, you'll have to remind me that I had seen it. And then I will insist that I still hadn't seen it. And then you'll pull up my letterbox and you'll be like, look, you logged it on this day in 2026. And I'll go, son of a gun. I saw this movie. So I'm giving it a 1.
So I have nothing but nostalgia for this movie after seeing it again. Like, it took me back to when I was a kid and just laughing my butt off as a child because it's such stupid humor. And this made, I don't care who knows it. I don't care what you guys think. I don't care what the internet thinks. This made me laugh harder than My Cousin Vinny. So I'm giving it the same rating as the Oscar award winning My Cousin Vinny with 3 stars because I probably will watch this again.
This movie broke him, John. It broke our friend Tristan.
To each their own.
No,
like
you're
to each
absolutely
their
right.
own.
You're
But the thing
absolutely right.
is this like, I can't, it's not a movie I can defend.
No, I get it. Once you said I watched this a ton growing up and I don't remember where my, copied VHS
your floor
was.
is 3 stars.
I knew it was going to be up there a little bit, but that's okay.
Just like if you look at my rating of Star Trek 5, like there's a floor and I
There's a
can't go
floor.
below it because I have a very specific emotional feeling. I get it, man, and I respect it. That at least you're honest about it. Cool. That's great. Mileage may vary, and
This is
comedy
definitely
unique.
one of those times when I am 100% honest about it. You can't defend this movie. Like, no, this is a garbage movie, and it's stupid humor. But that's the appeal. Is sometimes you need the McDonald's burger. Like, you can't eat steak all the time. All right, Darren, what are we doing next week? And let's see if it's better than the 113 Sergeant Bilko.
Well, we'll see. As we wrap up the House of Jonathan Lynn, we're going to be covering not the first yard, not the second yard, but the whole 9 yards from 2000 next on Houselights.
Join the revolution. Join the Nerd Party.